Happy Saturday, foodie friends, grain-free VIPs. Welcome to today's Slice of the Grain-Free Lifestyle episode. And if you're coming on and being notified that I am here live with you, could you please say hello in the comments below? And as we're waiting for a sound check, I want to start with a little enthusiasm, all right? I want you to sing with me because I know you know the song. I am grain-free and I can do anything. I am grain-free and I can do anything. You are grain-free and you can do anything. We are grain-free and we can do anything. And if you're going, Nina, I don't feel like it, it's okay. But I want to remind you that this is where we make the magic happen, okay? Now, today's title of our episode is how to accelerate your grain-free journey and get to the good part where you're eating like normal again without grains, allergens, and the chaos that they wreak on your body. And I'm so glad that you picked this topic because this is really where it's at. This is where everything comes together. This is what we are all working for. Think back to that moment where you first learned that you had to make changes, whether it was for your child, for yourself, and how scared you were. I know I was scared, right? As someone who has been grain-free for 13 years, I can tell you there is life beyond that scared moment. And today we're going to talk about how to accelerate that journey so that you can get to the good part where you are eating like normal again. Oh my goodness. So right in front of me, I have some normal food. This is made with completely grain-free ingredients. These are my chocolate chip cookie bars. I made these this morning because I bake on the weekends. And I'm using every spare moment because I wanted baked goods. I didn't want to wait until tonight. I'm also going to bring these to a friend's house. I'm going to go visit her after this. And so why not share with a friend? Okay, so these are chocolate chip cookie bars. And of course, they contain no gluten, no grain, no dairy, no egg, no soy, no corn, no almond, no cashew, no peanut, no sesame, no legumes. Why does that matter? It means I can eat them. These are the type of normal foods that I am talking about. And so how do we do this? Well, there's three things we're going to focus on today. We're going to focus on knowing your grains and your grain-based ingredients. We're going to focus on getting recipes that work for you so that you're not doing the brain work, right? Finding recipes that work for you and you are good to go. You can grab that recipe binder, you can grab that cookbook and boom, cook and bake like normal so that you're not spending time. And then learning to break recipes so that you can taste your family traditions again. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Christine. Hi, Elsa. I'm so glad you all are here with me. Say hello. And I'm curious, what would a normal grain-free meal taste like to you? No, not the one with chicken and veggies. We've all had that. And while it is healthy, if you could enjoy normal foods again without grains or allergens, what would that taste like? For me, every once in a while, I like to eat like a 7-year-old at the bowling alley snack bar. It just feels good to be a kid again, right? So for me, that's pizza and chicken nuggets and maybe some sweet potato fries, all the good stuff. So what would that taste like for you? Go ahead and put that in the chat below. What would that ideal meal be? It's also, for me, it's also macaroni and meatballs. But let's go back to how we can accelerate our grain-free journey. Why do we want to learn our grains and our grain-based ingredients? Well, because you might find yourself in the situation that I was in when yes, I'm going to bake grain-free bread the first time. And I went out and I didn't know what grains like amaranth and sorghum were. So I bought a baking mix and I was baking with it. And every time I used that baking mix, I got a nasty stomach ache. And I said, but I'm following the directions. I'm using what my doctor told me to use. Why do I still have the stomach ache? Anybody ever have that problem? Yeah. Or like one of my clients, she thought she just needed to be gluten-free. And she was doing all the gluten-free things right. And we kept digging and we kept digging and we kept digging. And her doctor said, no, gluten-free is enough for you. And after our work together, we had eliminated so much. And I had persuaded her to go for testing so that she could really get the full picture of what was happening inside her body. And wouldn't you know, some of those grains that were in her gluten-free baking mixes, her gluten-free breads that she was buying and she thought she was doing a good job, some of those grains were causing chaos in her body. And that's why it's so important for you to learn your grains and your grain-based ingredients, because there are more than 150 grains that sneak right under our noses in our dairy-free foods, in our vegan foods, in gluten-free foods, in our personal care products, right? So if you can get those grains and those grain-based ingredients out, you're ahead of the game. You're certainly ahead of where I was when I first started. Like, I didn't know what to do. My doctor was giving me supplements that contain hidden grains because he didn't know either. And when I told him, he said, you'd be fine. Well, I was not fine. I was dealing with nasty inflammation. No, thank you, people. We're working too hard for that. We want normal food. So let's take a quick break and let's eat a chocolate chip bar. I promised my husband I wouldn't eat the corners, but I could still eat the edges. Okay, hold on. I didn't cut them all the way through. All right, this is a chocolate chip cookie bar. Has no grains, no dairy, no eggs, no soy, no corn, no almond, no cashew, no peanut, no sesame, no lectin, no legume. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So, if you are looking for some guidance on avoiding grains, I want you to put lists below so I can get you my 5-page list of hidden grains so you can boom, get that out, right? It's quick. 5 pages, keep them with you. Every time you read labels, pull it out, you'll have it memorized quick. All right, so the grains and the hidden grains, they are off your list. And now, you want to eat like normal, which means you're going to need recipes. And those of you who are here with me, I would love to know which recipes make you feel normal. The recipes that you already have. It might be a recipe that you've gotten from a blog or one that a friend gave you. What recipes make you feel normal? That when you are enjoying the very best, you're eating for real. For me, again, the foods that make me feel normal. Someday I will get rid of this cold. The foods that make me feel normal are the cookie bars, the cupcakes, having pizza and cake on my birthday, right? Having a cookout with friends and everybody digging in and sharing the same meal. Everybody sharing the same ranch dip, right? And everybody enjoying it, whether they are grain-free or not. That community sharing is where I find my normal. Unfortunately, the dog that's outside screaming, yeah, he's also part of my normal. So, what foods make you feel normal? And then you're going to want to find recipes that are already done that exclude grains and other allergens that you are avoiding. So boom, when you want a cheeseburger casserole, the recipe's ready for you. When you want pizza, the recipe's ready for you. Chicken nuggets, meatloaf, sheet pan dinners, right? Muffins, waffles. And if you're going, Nina, where on earth is that? Let me tell you, I couldn't find it either. And I had 2 choices back when I first started. Live a life of sacrifice, where my menu is protein, veggies, and nothing else. Or cheat and deal with the brain fog, the inflammation, the hives, all the nasty stuff. And I didn't want that either. So after I tried substituting, and substituting got me bread like bricks and cookies that were more like shingles and sheetrock, I said, you know what? What I'm doing with other people's recipes is not helping me. It's not getting me the results I want. I know that I could not do any worse if I made my own recipes. So I'm going to take a few months and I'm just going to try it. And that was how I started creating my own recipes, because the brain work was insane. And if you've ever tried to take a standard recipe and make it safe for you, you know the brain work that I'm talking about, where how much of this, what replaces eggs, why is it super dense, how do I do that, what do I use if I can't use yeast, I want bread. And like, there's so much work that goes into a grilled cheese sandwich. But let's take the brain work out of that, and let's get you recipes that are ready to go for you, so that when you want to eat like normal, you open your cookbook and you're making waffles. No more than an hour, because waffles do take a while. And then, doesn't mean you can't add your family recipes back to your table. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. The best recipes are the ones that you enjoy with your family, so that you have your grandmother's mac and cheese and your mother's cheesecake and the family holiday recipes that you ate as a child, that your parents ate as children. And when you share those recipes with your family without grains and allergens, that's where it's at. That's what we're going towards. Well, how do we do that? Okay. Ingredients plus technique. And you're like, what? Ingredients plus technique. Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Hold on. I'm going to put the cookie bars away for just a minute. Okay. This is my lectin-free flour blend. And those of you who have it and are using it, it's working really well. I spent a year developing this blend. And if you're like, Nina, I could never do that. You don't have to. You don't have to, okay? I do the work so you don't have to, because I don't ever want anyone to feel as lost, as hopeless, and the level of sadness that I felt when I had to skip cake on my birthday. I watched people eat my own birthday cake, and I went home and I cried. And when I started doing this, I thought that I would be connecting with other adults like you. I had no clue that there would be children out there who can't have pizza and cake on their birthday. It keeps me up at nights, to be honest. It keeps me up because doctors seem to think that it's okay, and I don't. I think that everybody deserves pizza and cake on their birthday. So if you are here watching this with me, thank you for helping me live my mission. Thank you for participating. Thank you for sharing recipes. You don't have to do this alone. And so the first ingredient I want to talk to you about is the flour. This is my lectin-free flour blend. Since my husband had to start avoiding legumes and lectins at Christmas 2024, this is what I've been using. It replaces white flour. In a recipe, a certain amount of white flour, you swap it out, you're good to go. Same thing with egg replacer. Recipe calls for so many eggs, you use the egg replacer, you're good to go. And then it's technique. And if you're like, technique what? What's technique? Technique is what we do and when we do it. Back to the cookie bars. So in a cookie bar, how does that work with the cookie bar? Okay. Anybody who's ever made chocolate chip cookies before knows you have to cream your sugar and your shortening. And that is because sugar, while it's dry, is considered a wet ingredient. If you don't combine your sugar, your shortening, and your egg or your egg replacer first, you're not getting cookies. You're getting bricks. Have you ever done that before? Have you ever made that mistake? It's okay if you have. I did too. I did it once by accident when I was much younger. And then I did it on purpose. I did it on purpose to see what would happen, just as I was learning and studying and breaking recipes. And sure enough, that technique is the order of ingredients. Order of ingredients is one example of a technique that we all use. okay? It's what we do when we do it. I'll give you another example. If you make a flourless cake, many of you probably have eggs safe for you. For me, eggs are not safe. But if you make a flourless cake, one of the techniques that they have you do is whip up the egg whites. First, you separate the eggs, right? Separate the whites from the yolks. You whip up the egg whites, you get this big fluffy thing, and then with the chocolate, the egg yolks go, and maybe some cream. If you just try to combine the eggs that way, you'll never get the result that you're looking for. Technique is what you do, when you do it, why you do it, okay? And so, the techniques that we use, like how to develop xanthan gum, replacing egg, replacing flour, that gets us our family recipes back on our table. It also makes it possible for you to enjoy any recipe without grains and the allergens that you're craving. Now, how long does this take? It took me 10 years to figure this out. And if you're like, Nina, I can't. I'm not spending a decade of my life in cooking school. You don't have to. I did not go to cooking school. They don't teach this stuff in cooking school. If they did, I would have signed up and I would have taken you with me so that you could eat like normal, because that's what I want for you. So because they don't teach this in cooking school, I still want you to learn it, and I'm here to teach you. Now, my amazing VA, Arlene, who's been helping me with everything, thank you so much, Arlene, she has put my calendar link below. And I want you to use that calendar link so that we can meet. We'll meet on Zoom, and we'll talk about your goals. What does your normal life look like without grains and allergens? And how can we make that happen for you? Is it just recipes that you need? Or are you that person who wants to spend the next holiday season sitting at the same table with their family, eating the same foods as everybody else, enjoying the same mac and cheese that your family has been having for generations? Whatever your goals are, we can make that grain-free lifestyle happen for you. Why? Because I did it for myself. I'm teaching my clients to do the same thing, and I'd love to help you with that. So let's go over the steps. How can you accelerate your grain-free journey so that you can get to the good part where you eat like normal again? First, you're gonna know your grains, your grain-based ingredients. You're gonna get my 5-page list. And then you're gonna take that with you. And every time you're label reading, you're gonna be like, oh, microcrystalline cellulose, no way, that's out. Modified food starch, boom, that's out. And then I'm gonna teach you places where these grains hide as well. It's very easy to reset your pantry because when these things are out, they can't get into your body and they can't cause chaos. Okay, so we're gonna know our grains, we're gonna know our grain-based ingredients, purge the pantry, then we're gonna get recipes. Recipes like the cookie bars, the cheeseburger casserole, muffins, waffles, pizza, chicken nuggets, okay? Sheet pan dinners, cheeseburger casserole, tuna casserole, recipes that you and your family are going to enjoy. Mac and cheese, cheeseburgers, fluffy rolls, bread, real food. The kind that maybe the kids sneak when they shouldn't. Yeah. It's really hard. I will be the first to tell you, it's really hard, but it doesn't have to stay hard. And then when we get the recipes, we're gonna take back our time. We're gonna enjoy the variety, and then we're gonna move a little further so that we can reach the definition of normal and eat like we always have, using different ingredients. I believe that you can do this. And I'm here to help you make it happen. So before we go, I want you to sing with me, all right? I am grain-free and I can do anything. I am grain-free and I can do anything. You are grain-free and you can do anything. We are grain-free and we can do anything. I believe you can do this because the possibilities are endless when you break a recipe.